ready? You really are?
A roasted peanuts
I got
guy.
a roasted peanuts.
The defense could use a little bit of improvement, too.
See this afro? We brought this afro out for a reason.
Is it the planners?
Oh, Lord help him.
I'll tell you something about public school.
Now, tomorrow we'll be talking about the Detroit Lions.
There were penises in my math book.
What's up, everybody? It's me, Qwan Young, and welcome to the Qwan Show.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? It's me, Qwan Young. I got to tell you, today's going to be rough because if you saw the show Friday, we had some issues getting the show up. And it seems like those issues are persistent and consistent with today. I hear an echo. Is there an echo? No, there's no echo. It's just me. Welcome to the Qwan Show, another edition. We're doing Week 11 in the NFL. Before I get into it, I'm not sure if everybody had this issue, but Oregon bit me over last night. I had a nice little 3-leg parlay going, and I thought I could trust Oregon against Utah, and they absolutely came out and stunk up the joint. I mean, it stunk. So I'm reeling from that. Haven't had a good week of betting. The Bets TV and FTN and Last Word Cheetah, all of those shows and things that I participate in, they've really made a turn in my life. I'm sweating games that I normally wouldn't sweat, watching games that I normally wouldn't watch. UTSA had a big victory yesterday. I put UTSA in a parlay, and that was a part of the Oregon parlay. And, you know, they gave me a stroke, a heart attack, for all the way up until 59 minutes and 55 seconds. So yesterday was a pretty stressful betting day for your boy. Did not go well, but it's Week 11 in the NFL, and we're back for more. I'm going to see if I can get some calls up because there were some people actually asking about calling in. So what we're going to do, we're going to try and open the phone lines. I haven't done this in a minute. But 661-515-BETS is the way to reach me. These connectivity issues are not serving me well. It is Week 11. Big news if you haven't seen it. Lamar Jackson out with an illness. Man. They're not speculating that it's COVID, but Tyler Huntley will get the start against the Chicago Bears for the Baltimore Ravens. I saw some totals. 41.5 is what I last saw. And I'm not thinking it's going to be a very high-powered offensive game for Baltimore. I believe he has 3 completions. I'm going to have to look this up. Listen, Rich Eisen had to Google who Tyler Huntley was at the start of Good Morning Football, I think is their show. So not to say that I'm unprepared, but if Rich Eisen doesn't know who you are, that means that nobody else really does either. So Tyler Huntley's getting the start. There we go. We're going to see if we can get some calls. 661-515-BETS. Call in, talk to me. I would greatly appreciate it today as we move on into Week 11 of the Qwan Show. Missed a few weeks, but we're still at Week 11. My MVP bet is not going well. Matthew Stafford and the Rams on Monday night got absolutely smoked. Which, you know, bad team. 49ers on a bad team. I'm not going to make excuses for them, though. I was kind of upset that the narrative was surrounding Stafford the entire game. And you could visibly see the Rams defense was getting their ass kicked up and down the field. I mean, the first play or the first drive, a 18-play drive, if I recall. 49ers dominated time of possession. They had the ball for 40 minutes. Stafford had another pick six, which entirely not his fault. Threw another interception, deep ball to Odell. I'm not sure what he was doing there. Horrible. But the drops were out of control, and it was just ugly all around. I mean, absolutely atrocious. So I'm going to probably stop really paying attention to the NFL MVP bet that I laid at 16-1 for Stafford to win. I don't think he's out of it that much, but it's starting to become and look like a long shot to me. So, it is what it is. Unless they can, I think they're going to come back in the after this bye week next week and put something together. I mean, you got OBJ, you got one of the best receivers in the league this season in Cooper Kupp, and a defense that kind of needs to bounce back. They're not that great against the run. So it's going to be something where, you look for them to have a Buccaneers type run after the bye, which I think that they're capable of doing. There are no real standouts and for any of the awards. For NFL MVP, I mean, you got Kyler Murray missing a bunch of games. Dak, I would say off the top of my head, is probably the most suited. He's playing at the highest level, and he has the Cowboys in a position to win. So I would say out of anybody, Mahomes is probably going to make a run here if Kansas City can keep up what they did last week against the Chiefs. Yeah, it's not looking good across the board. So, oh man, week 11, we're here already. It's Thanksgiving, man, and I want to apologize in advance. I know Thursday you guys are going to get a glimpse into Lions fandom or whatever you do. Don't be overly analytical and critical of what you're going to watch in the first game on Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. I won't see you next week. I'll be out of town visiting friends and family. So on Thursday, that game is going to be terrible. The Lions are starting Tim Boyle today, and he'll probably play better on Thursday than he will today, but I don't really expect much out of him and the rest of that team. They played the Steelers tough last week. I had a couple of times where they should have won that game, which I don't know if it's more embarrassing on the Steelers' part or a testament of how much the Lions are coming together throughout the season. They tied, which a few players didn't even know you could do. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in that game today against Cleveland. I think Baker hobbled Baker Mayfield. We kind of saw last week what that team might really look like. Well, I mean, it's a small, like you get one game without Odell, they come out on fire, and then the next game they come out and they get absolutely smoked by the Patriots. So, what do you expect if it's not a total team domination of this lowly Detroit Lions team today? What Cleveland Browns team is there to critique? They're very inconsistent. The defense is great. The running game is great. And the quarterback is the quarterback. I think next season they're going to do something where they absolutely explore other options outside of Baker Mayfield. So today, like I said, we got Baltimore and Chicago. The game opened at 6, and it's down to 1.5. Lamar Jackson is worth that many points. His illness is absolutely going to take shape. There's some totals here. It opened at 45.5. It's all the way down to 41. I'm not expecting Tyler Huntley to do. Now he's not. He stepped in a few games or in the playoffs after Lamar Jackson was concussed. He's not Lamar Jackson. So, if the game opened at 45.5, you're down 4 points. I'm saying that offense struggles. Chicago absolutely has an opportunity to steal this game. They're without Khalil Mack for the rest of the season, but I don't see this being a high-scoring affair. I'm hoping that the Bears can actually put something together at home, and at plus 1.5, you're saying it's a 2-point game, field goal wins it, anything of the sort. But looking at the total, I'm taking that under 41. I think the last under 40 or so, the last total, the Steelers Bears I saw on Monday night, they went over that. But I absolutely like the under here. Maybe the Ravens defense steps up, but not too much on that end. We got Houston and Tennessee. A lot of people are looking at this as a letdown spot for the Titans, which, man, they're playing hot. And this is what they're doing, all of this without Derrick Henry, but they look like they wanted to give that Saints game away last week. And I don't know. It's tough knowing what Texans team is going to show up because they're an absolutely better team without Tyrod Taylor, or with Tyrod Taylor, excuse me. So, it's hard analyzing what you're going to get on the field because they've been bad all season, and most of that is because they've been playing with Davis Mills, and, they traded away some of their pieces. They lost Mark Ingram or traded him away. So, what are you really getting out of this Houston team? This game opened at 10 or 9.5, and it's up to 10. I don't want to say that they cover here. I feel like I feel like Tennessee is playing. Who in the AFC? Man, this is a tough one because I don't really know. Like I said, nobody's really separated themselves from the pack on either side of the NFL. In the AFC and the NFC, we're looking at the Chiefs actually getting back to they had the AFC West had all this time to figure it out, and the Chiefs are actually, if Monday night was any indicator of what they could, or Sunday night, excuse me, against the Raiders, if that was any indicator to where they actually are, they may start to make that run and put everything together again. So, the Titans are supposed to be the class of the AFC right now, and it's just tough watching them. They're fighting without Derrick Henry. They had the big win over the Rams 2 weeks ago on Sunday Night Football, and then last week they squeaked one out against the Saints, which, they looked iffy at times. Buffalo's supposed to be the top of the AFC. They're not really a cohesive unit right now. The Patriots on Thursday night, they look great all around. And Mac Jones is killing it, man. And I don't think anybody expected him to be the class of the rookie quarterbacks that was going to separate themselves. I thought, a lot of people were looking at Trevor Lawrence at least, and then Zach Wilson. But Mac Jones got put into a great system with Bill Belichick. You can't really hate it. Baltimore, they're going to need this game today. They're going to have to pull this game out to keep pace. They're ahead of the AFC North, but, you're getting that whole division is 5-5, 5-4, 5-3-1, 6-3. That division might be settled. It's really ugly and really muddy there. Then you got the Titans in the AFC South, which they'll win easily, I think, if they can just keep what they're doing. It's a lot of parity in the NFL, and it's kind of tough to gauge, who in the NFL is good. Who can you rely on when you're betting? These are some of the issues that I'm having right now. But back to the slate at hand. We got Houston and Tennessee. Opened at 9.5. It's up to 10. Total's at 44.5 right now. What do you like there? I don't see any of the usual. There we go. Scott's in there talking to me. A lot of mediocrity across the board. And, a lot of people are saying that they wanted parity. This isn't good. Nobody that you can really depend on. So, Houston, Tennessee, picking a side there. I say Houston covers. Plus 10. I haven't seen any injuries that could affect it. Derrick Henry's out. I believe Julio is out. A.J. Brown, Brandon Cooks, and Amendola are the props. Yeah. Houston, Tennessee. Houston covers the 10. Just got hit on the under, looks like. New Orleans, Philadelphia. The Eagles surprised me last week. Who are they play? I believe it was Denver they played last week. Pretty good game. And they surprised me a lot because they came out early, which hasn't been a recurring theme. They came out and they started early. Jalen Hurts got some he threw some good deep balls. Jalen Waddle making plays on the ball, and they sustained the lead and they kept playing. So, Philly's a team that maybe it's close across the board. Like I said, there's a lot of parity and there's not really much that you can bank on and depend on right now. In the if you're looking across the board at betting, who do you trust? I've been fading Philly all year. They're 4-6 right now with a position to be in the wild card. Dallas atop of the NFC East, 7-2. Philly 4-6. Washington pulled off the upset of Tampa Bay last week. The Giants 3-6. These are probably gonna be your wild card teams. Green Bay's ahead, 8-2 in the NFC North. Minnesota 4-5. The Bears are 3-6, and obviously the Lions are out of it, 0-8-1. Tampa Bay 6-3, and then it's a bunch of jumbled mess. The Saints, the Panthers, the Falcons, all within a game or 2 games of each other. Then the Cardinals, Rams, and then the 49ers, 4-5, 3-6. So pretty much everybody's in the hunt except for the Lions. And then you get the Eagles team here in a spot where they need this victory to kind of keep it. They're going to put themselves in a great position against or in the playoff hunt if they can pull this out against New Orleans. I'm not sure if Kamara's out. But this is a big spot for Philly. And it looks like Kamara is out. Let me double and triple check here. Yes, Alvin Kamara is out. Is it Kamara or Kamara? I'm saying Kamara. Saints all day from Jimmy L. Texans seem to find ways to cover games. Yes, they do. Lions, Browns, under is all out. Scott's he's not excited about the Tim Boyle pick. Saints all day we got from Jimmy L. Yeah, Kamara's out. This game opened at 1.5. It's up to 3 now with another low total, which both teams play good defense. 42.5. I like the under there. I don't see an offensive explosion from Trevor Siemian. I think they're going to try to mix it up like they did last week in New Orleans. Throwing Taysom Hill at quarterback, it's not the worst thing in the world now that you don't actually have a quarterback, but New Orleans is going to need to find something to put some points up and just rely on the defense. But I like the Eagles side there too, to cover the 3. They're laying 3 right now. So if you can get that. Miami, New York, an ugly game. Joe Flacco starting, I believe. So it's going to be ugly. Very, very ugly. Joe Flacco, Jacoby Brissett. This game opened at what did it open at? Game opened at 3. It's up to 4. Totals at 44.5. These are some low. I hate the totals in the 40s, but I kind of hate the totals in the 50s more because you expect those teams to score. I haven't hit on totals that are totaling anything in the 50 and above. 44.5 for 2 backups. I kind of like the under there. I don't think they're going to. I mean, Flacco was never a quarterback that I thought would put up points like in any situation consistently or anything. So, you're getting what you get from that. And then Jacoby Brissett and the Dolphins, or unless Tua's back. Let's see if Tua's back. Is Tua back? No, he had a bit of a hand issue the last few weeks. I'm not even sure. He said he'll start practicing. Is Tua out? Oh, they're talking nasty on here, calling him Sam Bradford. Tua out. No word on that yet. Anybody? Colts Saints money line parlay. What's the price on that? That's probably not that good. Is Tua out this week? Man, it's tough to find this one. Let me see. 1 hour ago. Looks like fine. Okay. It looks like Tua is playing today. If he's available. We still don't have word on that. That's nasty. But that just all depends if you trust the Dolphins. I would take the Dolphins there. I think it's a money line. They got a lot of juice. Closer to 2 cents on the dollar. Minus 192 right now. Might throw them in the parlay because, like I said, I do not trust the Jets at home. So that absolutely means that they're going to pull it out with Flacco. Flacco's not going to turn the ball over. Let's go. Might have to get through these a little quicker. Sorry for the late start, guys. We had some technical difficulties, kind of threw everything off. Indy and Buffalo. Opened at 7. It's still at 7. Total opened at 50. Down to 49.5. Buffalo's, they've been having some weird weeks. Last week or 2 weeks ago, that was the Jaguars game. They come out impressively, blow out the New York Jets, which they should have. And it's been a bit of like Josh Allen, he was the guy. Not 2 weeks ago. Where was it? What spot did they blow out or lose that Jaguars game? It was 2 weeks ago. Week 9. Yeah. That week 9 game, they lost to the Jaguars. Last week, they come back and they blow out the Jets. And this week, they're faced with the Colts. Colts looking like a team that has found their stride and giving the ball to Jonathan Taylor, which is a good idea. I think he's proven to a lot of people that he is the guy in Indianapolis and he can be the guy moving forward. Carson Wentz, man, it's just something about Carson Wentz where he looks really bad at times. Just like there are the plays where, you see him make a left-hand throw, and any other quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, they get excited about things like that, and you see those highlights. But when Carson Wentz does it, it's total anarchy. So it's watching the Colts and the rest of that team. That's a defensive fronted team. I don't know what I was trying to say there. That's a team that is bolstered by their defense and their running game, which is, that's what they want to rely on a lot more than the arm of Carson Wentz. And at this point, Carson Wentz is Carson Wentz. He's inconsistent. He'll make the throws, but there are times where he puts you in the trouble, and he gets you into trouble. So as far as the Colts-Bills game, picking a side, I like the under here. I think it's going to be a lot more of a defensive battle than anything between the two, unless they found their stride. They had that hiccup in the road 2 weeks ago, and they're getting back to where they need to be. But I think this is going to, maybe Buffalo pulls it out later where they get ahead 2 or 3 touchdowns and everything goes. So I like the under there, and I like the Buffalo side. Detroit, Cleveland. Tim Boyle is making his first start. Jared Goff is out. I hate to complain about that game plan that Dan Campbell put together last week because it pretty much worked. They couldn't throw the ball. Once again, Jared Goff injured. I think it's oblique issue. Doesn't matter. He sucks. Like, absolutely atrocious. So they're starting Tim Boyle this week because, he can actually throw the ball down the field. The things that I saw from him in the preseason, a little concerning. There were some turnovers. It's probably going to be a run-heavy game. I think they try to protect them as much as they can. Keep those quick screens and plays where he's getting the ball out 1, 2, 3. And that's a way to ease him into the action. It's really nothing that he's going to need to do or can do to actually get them to a position where they can win the game. This Browns defense is really good. The Browns running game, there's no drop-off from back 1 to back 2 to back 3. I'm not sure if Chubb is playing today. Is Nick Chubb playing today against the Lions? Let's see. They removed him from, okay. Man, it'd be great if the injury joint was available. But either way, I don't see this game opened at 10. It's up to 13.5 now. I think the Lions cover here. I know I'm going to regret saying that. It's another low total, 242. So it looks like they're expecting some type of blowout on the Browns and with no points by the Lions offense, which makes sense. There are no playmakers, and you're relying on Tim Boyle, who is and is proven to be a turnover machine. And that's just based off the preseason. So 13.5. I think the Lions. Man, did I say they cover? I might have to pull that back. It's kind of, if this feels like a trap week too. Like, everything feels so trappy. Everything feels so trappy because I took the Lions last week to cover 5.5, and they tied. And here you're telling me a team that tried to Jared Goff out there and they threw only screens can't cover against the Cleveland Browns, who are throwing a hobble Baker Mayfield out there. I think the Lions are going to try to run the ball. Yeah, let's go with it, man. Hey, listen, 13.5. The disclaimer is always up there. Quan's bad at point spreads. Green Bay, Minnesota. Aaron Rodgers looked horrible last week, which coming off of the COVID list, you kind of expected. Minnesota, they're going to play to their level of competition. Once again, they're inconsistent and they're consistent at the same time. I think it's something where, if they're facing a good team, they come out on fire and they compete. They beat the Chargers last week. Did not expect that. Are they streaking and trending towards being better? And will they give Green Bay all that they can handle at home? The game opened at 1.5. It's been 1.5. Total move down to 0.5 point. I'm gonna go Minnesota here. I think Minnesota, like I said, man, they play to the level of their competition. I think that was a good victory last week against the Chargers. They came out. Kirk hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been great. He's been Kirk Cousins. He's been a little bit above average. He's played. He's had some pretty big games this year. Let me see. 18 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Is that right? Wait a minute. Is Kirk Cousins having a season? There's no way that's right. Almost 2,500 yards? Let's break this down real quick. No way. No, that can't be right. Let me see. In 9 games played, 9 games started, he's 4-5. 231 to 339 with a 68% completion percentage. Kirk Cousins is having a year. 2,434 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Now, I think this should be talked about a lot more, and it probably would be if the Vikings weren't 4-5. He had a few comeback victories, too. So, man, Kirk Cousins is having a very low-key year. That's unexpected. I did not expect that. But I absolutely like Minnesota in this spot. I know people were talking about Green Bay's defense improving and things being a lot better, but I would like to see it against a team. This last week they played against the Seahawks, who had Russell Wilson coming back after 5 weeks off, I think it was, with a broken finger. So, that's not really a comp that sample. I don't feel like it's a fair comparison. So Green Bay is going to be playing against Thielen. They're going to be playing against Justin Jefferson this week. So I think you're going to get to see where the defense actually is right now. I like Minnesota's side here. Take the 1.5 on the money line, plus 105, which is about almost even money. So, not too far off. I'm definitely going to look at that one later. Washington, Carolina just got hit. Carolina, Cam came back last week, rushing touchdown, passing touchdown. They blew out the Cardinals, who were without Kyler Murray, and he's playing his old coach, Ron Rivera. So there's a lot of narrative. It's very narrative-y. There are a lot of people that are thinking that Cam's going to come out and he's going to get like where you got the fluky Cam, or they came out, everybody played well. But if Christian McCaffrey's in the lineup, I think there's some familiarity there with Cam. If Christian McCaffrey can stay on the field, I think there's an opportunity for the Panthers offense to get going. And now you're adding in the element of Cam Newton being able to run the ball, which he's done successfully in the past. Him down on the goal line, you see that, you don't have to put much in for him to be successful. You come on. He came on after 11 weeks off and scored 2 touchdowns. You know, no matter the situation, getting in there, running the ball in, and throwing that play action pass. You know, those are easy plays and easy ways to get him involved in the game. And I think against this Washington team, they're down Chase Young. The Panthers are going to have to control the ball. I think Taylor Heineke, man, he's not bad. He's just a backup. So there are some games he looks great, some games he looks terrible. He looked great last week. But as far as against Carolina, totals at 43 has moved down a half a point. Seems like there's going to be some defense play, but I kind of like the over here. I have a hunch that, you know, these guys are kind of familiar with it. Ron Rivera is familiar with Cam, and I think we haven't seen enough of Cam this season to know what Carolina is going to do. They're probably going to try to get the ball in space to McCaffrey, but there's still that element of Cam being able to move and create outside the pocket, so and run the ball. So, you know, he looked kind of good last week running the ball. I like the total here, and I like it over. I couldn't pick a side right now, but I think I took Carolina in one of my bets this week. Couple more games left. We got San Francisco, Jacksonville. I think, man, if that Kyle Shanahan game plan of them running the ball and just running the ball and finding ways to get Debo the ball, if they could do that all year, that's the 49ers team that I think everybody thought would show up from week 1. So if Kyle Shanahan doesn't get in his way, then 49ers roll here. This game opened at 4. It's up to 6.5. The total's 45.5, which it hasn't moved. So I'm on the side. I'm taking San Francisco there. Cincinnati, Las Vegas. This is a tricky one for me because Cincinnati has looked bad the past 3 weeks, or the past few weeks at least. And Las Vegas, they've hit this emotional peak where, you know, they've had a lot of stuff happen off the field that has affected on the field play. They've had a lot of emotional issues arise off field issues, and you can carry that fire for a game or two, but you know, the last few weeks, or at least last week's loss to Kansas City, kind of shows what they're going through as a team. And this is a spot right here, I think, for them to bounce back at home against another struggling team who needs to find their motor. So plus 109 here. If you like the Vegas side, there's some juice here on the Cincinnati side. Man, at -2, it's a scary pick. I would stay away from it. Total at 50.5. I would go over there. What is that? No, it's 20, 25, 20. So we're thinking 24, 28, something like that. I like the over there. I think they find a way to get it done. Arizona, Seattle, no Kyler Murray, I think. Let's double check that. But no Kyler Murray today. No DeAndre Hopkins. No Kyler Murray, no DeAndre Hopkins against Seattle. I think if Russ can come back and knock the rust off, which he didn't really look that great against Green Bay. They're laying 3 too, and it opened at 1.5. I think they were waiting for the Kyler Murray news. This would be big in the NFC West because they're looking at 2 8-3 or a 7-3 team and an 8-3 team. Arizona needs this win to distance themselves from the rest. I mean, the Rams are the closest. 49ers probably don't have a shot to catch Arizona. Seattle, they need this win to keep their playoff hopes alive, which I think is going to be completely out there. And this is probably going to be the last year you see Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll together. Probably last year you see Pete Carroll in Seattle. But if Kyler Murray's out, which is looking like, I like Seattle in a tough spot here at home. Last I saw, he's still questionable. So, a few more games. We got Dallas, Kansas City. I like points here. I don't think I know Dallas is missing a few players. I think Coop is out, but I like points here. I think there's not going to be much drop off from CD. You know, you may be missing Coop, but the defenses, I don't think we're going to see a lot of stops here. I think we're going to see some points in this game. So I see a total at 55.5. It's up from 55. I would hit the over there. Pittsburgh and the Chargers. I believe I saw that Ben Roethlisberger is playing in this game, which to me doesn't really matter. I believe he chartered a flight, or he took a separate plane after being activated from the COVID list. Yeah, he's back. So Ben's back. Doesn't really do much from a total side, it doesn't really do much on either side. Total here, 47.5. It opened at 48, so it's down a half point. I think this is a bounce back spot for the Chargers. I don't see Pittsburgh. They're gonna. Bringing Ben back isn't doing anything, and they need to come out with a different mentality than what they had. I think that game was embarrassing for a Mike Tomlin-led team. That game last week against the Lions, they're an absolutely better team than that. But the circumstances, losing Ben to COVID list, you got Mason Rudolph. I still don't think that's enough to tie with the Lions. So this is going to be a spot where the Steelers, they can keep pace with the victory here in the AFC North, but they're not a playoff team. I don't believe. They're going to have to go quarterback searching next year too. This team stinks. I'm going to go Chargers here as a side. I think they lay the 6, or I think they cover the 6 that they're laying. And I don't know about the total. 47.5 I would stay away from. The Giants and Tampa Bay on Monday night. This game opened at 10. It's up to 10.5. Brady and company are coming off of a tough loss to the Washington football team. Antonio Brown supposedly had a fake vaccine card. So they've been dealing with that issue all week. And it seems like a team in turmoil right now, which is night and day difference from where they were last season when, after the bye week, they didn't lose. So where can they get to? Heavy favorites here. I think everybody's expecting them to come out against this lowly Giants team and do what they do, which I do too. I don't see much to analyze there. They're laying 10. I don't know if they cover the 10.5. So this might be, I don't know. Like, once again, man, these games feel trappy. We're this late in the season, and there are just so many other injuries and things that we're getting to. I'll go with Tampa Bay in the 10.5. I think it'll be a blowout. Totals at 50. I don't know if the Giants compete. They're going to probably try and take some things that Washington did to confuse the Buccaneers and, see if they can disrupt the timing. If the Bucs get Godwin back, that'll be great for them because just having Mike Evans out there by himself, it's good, but there are a lot more things you could do with two good wide receivers as opposed to one. So that's it for the Qwan Show today. Thanks for bearing with me. Sorry for the technical difficulties early. But I'm excited about these matchups today. I'm about to hop off of here, and I got to do some things real quick. I'm going to we got some stuff going on here, guys. Yeah, but that's it. That's the Qwan Show for today. Got to do some stuff here to connect. I'm having the worst internet issues known to man, which only happens when I need them to act appropriately and correctly. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, I leave you with, I'm stalling right now because the internet's going really slow. As always, I leave you with the quote, the only way to gamble responsibly is to win. And I need to win. I am down bad right now. I was up 100 starting the week. I'm not up 100 anymore. I was going to roll it and try to keep it going. But it's not working out in my favor. Nothing's really working out in my favor right now. It's the most wonderful time of the year when Qwan is down his baddest. I can't get my computers to work. Goodness gracious. What's going on? Thank you guys for tuning in. And that is it for this episode of The Qwan Show. Peace.